Sorry about that, a weird little entrance there because I'm struggling to get it going. All right, this is it. I'm back. Another episode of Oceans Entertainment. It's a pleasure to have you here if you ever watch this. Um, Let me get my bearings here because it kind of caught me off guard. I don't know what that was. I couldn't tell. Let me just double check that this is doing things. Um, yeah, yeah, I believe we're good. Regardless, I apologize for this funky little intro because it was going to be a lot better. I overthink things and I was stressing about this, that, and the other, and I just realized I needed to get it going. And so here I am. All those details and flaws can either be figured out or left as is because that's life. Now, I am really happy to be here. I have been in a rut and I'm trying to continue making this channel happen and just start talking about the things I want to talk about with whoever wants to listen. Which brings me to the main point of the intro, which is me and my desire to bring people together and share and talk about ideas together here involving creativity, specifically with Lego and any other form of model building and artistic creation, from drawing to animation, anything that you want to bring to the table and talk about and feel that's absolutely welcome here, because all forms of creation is welcome here and safe to talk about. Because that's what I'm all about. And on top of that, just having fun. So let us proceed as to one of the things I want to talk about today. I'm sure you can see this clearly, this beautiful Genshin Impact mat with the one and only Keqing and Jingling. And you can't forget Guoba. But this channel is not about Genshin. And it's not about Genshin games or gacha games. It's about, like I said, creativity and more or less Lego and tabletop hobbies. That's a term I really want to use a lot because we'll be doing all kinds of different things. I have a few figurines that you'll see that that are missing things I want to add to. This one from Sword Art Online, I want to build a stand for and build a weapon for. I believe they're like a sniper of some sort. I can't remember. I might want to build like a really cool long sniper or something like that. That's just a perfect example of some of the creativity I'm going to be doing on this channel. That is not necessarily just Lego, but the things that I'll be creating, like the gun and the stand, they'll be out of Lego, and maybe not actually, because there's plenty of things that I actually have figure-wise that are perfectly suitable for something like this. Now, what else? I plan to talk a lot about Lego today, but I wanted to touch on a few different things. I want to start bringing some things out to keep a little bit of entertainment going. Say goodbye to Keqing and Jingling. I want to do some Lego things, of course, as we get this going here. I'm going to be sorting out some elements as we go and talk. I had a very interesting experience today where I watched a video of one of my favorite content creators go over another content creator's video on someone else. If you were, focusing on all the things that are happening right now enough and kind of are able to discern who and what I'm talking about by the end of this, that's fine. But I don't want to name drop and I don't want to talk negatively about anyone. But the experience for me was very shocking and it took me back, and ultimately is what really sparked this episode today. I needed to get back up and make this episode happen, because the bottom line is I realized is no one can really look up to anyone other than themselves. And that was the shock of me today. And that was really incredible. Somebody who I thought was really cool, I looked up to and admired, ended up being somebody who was absolutely crazy and not somebody who I want to be like at all. And I almost was going to do some weird little dedication um, to this person, but that's definitely not going to happen now. But the point is the my point of the dedication was going to be to um, dedicate the episode or some amount of my time to express that they have actually shown me exactly who and what not to be, say, and do. And that was incredible. This was an incredible experience because I thought they were super cool. I thought they were inclusive and were all about bringing people together and doing and being what I wanted to be. And then in the end, they were absolutely nothing like what I wanted to be and do. Let's get out some pieces, sorry. And it made me realize that the only way I'm going to find that person is being it myself. And so that's why I'm here. And that I won't go too far on this because I want to get back to Lego and cool Lego topics. That I want to make two promises. And well, we'll leave here, just kind of dedicated commitments. I don't want to make, promises are what they are to a lot of people, but we'll make them whatever you want. Commitments, um, promises, covenants, whatever you want. But I want to just make it a backbone for this channel and myself, really, and for everyone else. And those two promises is that I'll never lie to you, and also I will never lie to myself. And so whatever I might want to talk about or express on here, I simply am trying to do from the most genuine and honest part of my heart. With that being said, I have definitely said and done things that I regret, including on the internet, and I continue to struggle a little bit with that, which is something I'm really focused on now that I'm doing this, because I do not want to spread negativity whatsoever. And so that is also a main focus for me on this channel, is not spreading negativity whatsoever. And that starts with myself. And so that is something I really wanted to say. As we finish up this little bit about personal opinions and feelings and stuff, I want to show you a little bit of this. Sorry for some loud noises. We're going to get out what I like to call a spill tray. We're going to spill out these 1x2s that I have separated in a massive haul. So we're going to just dump those out there. Oh yeah, an EO, that stands for the Oceans. Embry Ocean, Oceans Entertainment, you get the picture. Okay, enough of that. Lose my train of thought a little bit because I wanted to just say one more thing about that, which was that I feel so strongly about these things and want to be grateful for the ones that came before me. Like even the ones the people who made these mistakes rose and fell to grace, however you say that. It's incredible. Every day of my life, I am just shocked with the presence of being alive and the opportunities I've been gifted with when I see and hear things that are going on. It's absolutely crazy. And so here I am. We're going to sort some 1x2 Lego, and it'll be a little bit of fun. How I like to go about doing a task like this is really focus on a majority rules type of tactic. Kind of grabbing some of the more common elements and then working your way down to the more uncommon elements. So I'm really going to just start with the 1x2s, which we all know and love. And I already know there's going to be a boatload of those. And so I'm simply going to just block out with my eyes anything that isn't a 1x2 with two studs on top. The classic little 1x2. And just rapidly grab as many of them as I can. So both my hands are full. I I've thought a lot about this content. I've spent a lot of time thinking about this content ahead of time. Um, I've commonly expressed this whole thing that I'm doing now as an idea in my mind. That there's this old saying that's like, you don't put the cart before the horse type of thing, which I that's a great saying, but it's funny. Somehow in my mind, I have actually done something that has built this image in my mind to where I've got this massive cart, um, this big one, and it's carrying like tons of heavy ideas and inspiration and desire and passion to do something. And it's on this big cart, but it's being pulled by this little donkey with a big heart, but not a lot of strength and courage, type of thing. And so he's pulling really hard, and he's going as hard as he can, and he just cannot get this thing going because it is so heavy. But there's so much good loot and ideas, and like I was saying, the desire to do something cool, just do something different, do what I want to do, which is this: talk to whoever wants to listen, uh, talk about Lego and some ideas and passions. Excuse me. So as I'm doing this, um, the main trick for me is to remember something I've been thinking about. Is you got to put yourself first. This can be a pretty daunting, overwhelming task to some. And again, I think I've mentioned this before in a couple episodes I've done before this, that everyone's going to do this differently. And I think it's really important to absolutely do it your way. And what I'm doing is just a route. Most important part is you're, one, comfortable, and two, I think the most important one is having fun. You gotta have fun. And so if you're not having fun, you gotta do something else. So don't do this if you're not having fun. If this is hurting your back and you're just like miserable or something else, don't do this. Do something else. Um, this is not for everyone. Watch me do it. Because I'm crazy. No, I just really do enjoy doing it. And so that's that. I'm actually just gonna grab something real quick. All right, it's been grabbed. This is awesome. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy I've pushed myself to do this today. And this crazy episode I watched just blew my mind. Geez, I'm throwing Lego all over the place. And it made me, I know I said this earlier already, but I'm going to say it again and again today, that this was a mind-blowing experience because I'm never going to think and see this person the same ever again. They absolutely destroyed their image and the idea of them in my mind. And this is something that happens to everyone, and it's happened to me before. And it's mind-blowing how when it happens, it just kind of catches you off guard. And I think sometimes things can be awakened in you in those moments. And so I think if that happens and those things inside you awaken and things are saying things to you, you should do it. Absolutely do it. And so I was like, that's what happened with me today. So I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. We're going to do this episode. And so here it is. I am still churning out those 1x2s. And I'm putting those in a separate bucket because they already have a home. And they'll end up there, of course. And so I'm actually just going to throw the translucent colored ones in there. The Lego community people like to shorten up the term, call them trans elements. And I like that. It's fun. But that one's actually not the 1x2 because that's a tile. Set that aside. And so, because I'll separate those later. I don't want to be slowed down by that right now. We'll see if we get through this before an hour. I'm going to start doing about an hour episodes. I really like that. Maybe I'll do shorts. Maybe I'll do some 15-minute episodes here or there. I have plenty of ideas for shorts. If you hadn't noticed, I just subconsciously started grabbing these jumpers because I'm seeing a lot of them, and that's what you want to do. Is if you start seeing a lot of something, just grab it. Just grab them. Just start grabbing them. And the technique is one of my techniques is trying to avoid using one hand and doing one at a time. You get two hands in there. You know, get up in there and start grabbing. 1, 2. Get your 2 fingers. You just squeeze them and roll them into the palms. Like that. You know, grab them. Just wow. And then you got your bucket of 1x2 jumpers started, and things are moving right along. And so this is it. We're sorting Lego, we're hanging out, and I've mentioned a few things I want to mention, and I'm feeling good. And this is awesome. Unfortunately, I forgot to get the YouTube portion set up on here, so I'm just free birding this. So I can't see if anyone's actually watching or chatting or anything like that, but that's just me, just just being spontaneous and kind of still really trying my best to get this cart moving, but with not a lot of the strength, or aka knowledge and savvy on this technological side, because I've been doing my thing over here for a long time, and have neglected to get really boned up on the technical side, your side, so that I can actually provide the content that I would like to provide everybody with, which is entertaining and interesting. And so I'm doing that one-handed thing. But that's it. You got to be comfortable. Keep yourself comfortable. I'm leaning and be comfortable. Just have fun with it, you know. But like I was saying, you know, is what it is. I've been a crazy person my whole life, and when I was in high school, for the few years that I would get on. I was a wild child. I was a crazy little clown. I was an attention whore, and that's it. That's life. And so I had I liked scooters. I was a scooter kid, and the high school I was in, a freshman year, had like these really nice, like smooth, almost marble like floors. And then in the other areas it was like carpet, but really smooth carpet. It was really weird. But me, I don't know how. We had lockers. It was like we still had lockers at that point. I don't even know how we had lockers. But I had a computer class specifically that I regret neglecting to study in and get the savvy that I need to for this computer stuff. But instead, I would have a scooter, and my buddies, we would like kind of skip class periodically and like scooter around the halls of school, and then like scooter into the middle of these classrooms and like scoot around, make a whole scene, and like get them to yell at you, and then we would scooter out of there real quick, and then we'd have to like, now we were like a criminal basically, and all the teachers and the principal were like looking for you, and so we were like booking around the corners and like trying to be on the other side of where they were constantly. It was some ridiculous stuff. We were being silly, but eventually we got caught, and they got the scooters confiscated, and it was crazy. They were the cool ones, like the Razor scooters, the good ones. And I was borrowing one from a buddy, so I was all traumatized because I had to get it back for him and stuff. But again, that's life. You got to learn from your mistakes, and that's what I'm doing now. Is coming full circle, taking the time to at least get this far with the technology, and I need to push myself to do that more. So that's kind of part of what I'm doing today. Getting out there, making some content, talking about a little of this and a little of that. Right now, as you see, I'm kind of sorting out the 1x2 grates, but I'm putting the 2 different kinds together. The 1x2 graded slopes and the 1x2 grates. I'm going to just kind of reset here. Probably go back to 1x2s, standards. While I do this, I want to talk about some ideas. And that is the heart of this channel and what I want to do here. That reminds me of something I want to mention. And a few of the other times I've tried to say this, my little channel slogan that I've been trying to do, I've been saying it wrong. I kept saying, bring people together to create and talk about ideas. And that's great. Yeah, we're going to create ideas here. Absolutely, that's what I want. But I think there's something else. I realize that there's a different word I want to use there, which starting today is what I'm going to start doing, is sharing and talking about ideas. Because obviously with that, either one of those, we're going to be creating ideas. Will we do either one of those or both? We'll be creating ideas. Inevitably. And as more ideas come, the more fun we'll have, the more of an open space I hope this will become. And we will really get to see some growth in each other. You know, I want to grow here. I don't want to be stagnant. I want to use this platform and this opportunity, which I feel is a privilege. I feel so honored and grateful to have this opportunity, to have my voice recorded for any amount of time, for any amount of people to hear, even if it's one. Because this is a true gift, I feel and think, and I realize, this is a great idea or thing to talk about, is I was very inspired to do this whole channel and everything that I'm doing now by this little talk I heard this guy do. I can't even remember what it was. It was moving. It was absolutely moving, and he talked about how he was 40. I want to try to do a long story short. And that he could die comfortably. He felt like he could die comfortably at 40. And that was like, wait, what are you even talking about? And I feel like, of course, there's a lot of different ways that you could look at that and or hear that and be like, okay, you mean this or you mean that. And that's where, yeah, those are all absolutely applicable. But the one I think I'm trying to get to right now specifically, because I mean, like, you could have that happen in all number of ways. He was talking about how he'd spent the last 10 years of his life. I don't even remember what his content was. It didn't matter, because that wasn't the point. The point wasn't his content. And that's something I'm doing today here, and I'm really passionate about, is this isn't about me. That's why today I'm not reusing my face, because we're talking about Lego and sharing ideas. And of course, I had some opinions and feelings earlier. And of course, throughout, because that's what I would like to do. Trying to stay on track. He spoke about how the last 10 years of his life, he had been recording content on the internet, on the web, the internet machine, okay? And he realized to himself that after 10 years, he had said all he wanted to say. He had spoken his deepest and most important things. Whether or not any of this is actually true, the idea that he portrayed, it got into my mind, and I realized something very important that I'm trying to express to you now. An idea that when after 10 years that he recorded his what he cared about, what he wanted to do for the future, who he thought, the things, his interests and goals, who he cared about, and all that hopefully, you know, as time goes on and technology goes, you would hope to think that these recordings of everyone will be saved for as long as possible. So your voice can be heard by anyone who wants to hear it. Because whether or not you think it or believe it or know it, there will be, I believe, someone who wants to hear what you have to say. And that's, I think, very important to me. And I realized that for a lot of different reasons. And that was so incredible. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start doing that because I already have this passion for this channel. And so many things have come together. And I realized that this is it. I need to start doing this and doing that. And I'm going to have a space where we can hang out, talk about Lego, talk about our feelings and things. So this happened this week. And man, that was crazy. Oh my gosh. This was such an incredible experience I had. We can talk about good things. We can talk about bad things. You know, I don't want to dwell on things. I don't want to be negative and talk negative about people. But we can absolutely share what has been happening with us. And like today for me, that was an incredible experience that I had to move me and get me going and realize that I don't need anyone to look up to or show me the way or show me that, oh wow, this is the person that's like that. Oh man, this guy's got it going. This guy's so cool. I want to be like that guy. No. You never need one of those. It was wow, because I genuinely thought this guy was the guy. I thought this guy was the guy. I thought he was cool. I thought he was special, and he is. Well, I don't want to get negative. I'm being passionate, but I don't want to talk negative or poorly about anyone. So I want to cut it off right there. But he expressed and displayed his true self. His true colors came out, and wow, and it was just bam, bam. You need to be the content creator you want to see, and in that, whatever it is you're doing, I think that's you need to get out there and do it. If it's sorting stamps, if it's walking your dog, if it's art. My sister is a talented artist, as is my mother, and I am so impressed with the things they've done. They've incredibly inspired me over the years to do art and be creative. So of course, you're going to be hearing me thank them a lot. And bring them up. Because, my gosh, one day if you ever get to see any of their stuff, you'll be impressed. I know that. It's just no-brainer. But that's that. Back to try to staying on topic. That is just such a cool idea. Spending any amount of time, 1 year, 6 months, 5 years, 2 weeks, 1 episode, 10 episodes, it doesn't matter. Get your voice out there. Say some stuff. Say some things. Because I think that there's someone who wants to hear from you. And whether or not they can now or ever or whatever, and in the future, I know there's people down the road that are going to be like, hey, who was that person? Holy cow, they have that was another one that was like, that's so incredible to me. That in 10, 20, 30 years, hopefully, a family that I may have, I would like to have a big family one day. Grandkids on grandkids on grandkids or whoever, even if they're not related to me, people who, whatever, it doesn't matter. They stumble across this and they are like, wow, this is cool. And I might be dead. And that is awesome, I think. Not because I am immortalized or anything like that. That's not irrelevant. That's irrelevant to me. It's so that the ideas, the creative energy, and the hopes and dreams, I know it sounds cliche or silly, but of whoever wants to be here are able to be heard. And I think that's important. I think that's important. might not be able to get all that out very eloquently, but I think I said it. And so it's just, I can't believe I made it this far to be rambling, even. Hanging out, knowing that maybe someday someone will want to come back, potentially, and share this time with anyone and everyone who may or may not want to participate in the future. It's kind of an all-encompassing idea that I have for this space. Kind of setting some apart here. These 1x2 cheese wedges. Sometimes I kind of go off. I get really into a thought, and I just get really into it, and I kind of go off. That'll happen a lot. Let's finish up these 1x2s. But I feel like I'm gonna make it here. I'm trying to get this done in 60 minutes. I really hope this is recording. If not, then whatever. It is what it is, right? These pieces are so weird. There's some funky ones that might just start separating in their own bucket. Just these ones I don't know what to deal with right now. But yeah, enough about any of that. Well, we've still got some time. I want to share some ideas that I would like to do and create and talk about on this channel with y'all, with whoever might want to in the future. That's what I'm getting at. That's the point. That's what I was kind of like at loss for words for, where it's like, what am I even saying? It's what is going to be in the future. It's what's happening now. It's someone that I don't even know in the future. Or you, because again, I don't really, this isn't about me. It's like, I'm doing this for my own, I have reasons that I want to do this, of course, and I'm doing them for those reasons. But what I'm expressing and what I want to record, I guess when I'm thinking and talking about it, of course, it is kind of both. I'm doing it for me, but I want to do it for the person that I don't even know yet. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I think that's a beautiful idea that anyone should do. Like, you have an opportunity to express yourself. Why not do it? Let's start doing 1x2 tiles. Those will have the smooth top with no studs. So yeah, I'm a little just lost in thought because I'm thinking about all kinds of things and how I want to say them, and because like that's the point of this is, I want to. Did I just lose that? No, okay, good. Lego will be lost. There's always things, but I always got a sharp eye. You gotta keep it up, a sharp eye. I don't know who we are. I don't know who I am. I don't think anyone knows exactly who they are or what they're doing. with a few goals in mind, and I'm going to proceed to attempt to do those. As I said a second ago, I would like to express some ideas, share some ideas with you, whoever may be listening. I'm really excited about a lot of these, and in time, I'm gonna make once I really get this ball rolling and I get out of this initial like weird episode phase where I'm just kind of talking and rambling and doing all this. We are gonna be doing some cool stuff. We're gonna make some ideas happen on this channel, and because like I said, I've been building up this big cart of ideas, and this weight is very heavy, and I can't get it rolling. It's so heavy I can't get it rolling. But it is rolling now. It is now officially rolling. It has been rolling. I know I am lacking on the episode output, content output. I'm in a rut. That's that. That's life. Enough said. I could go on, but I don't want to be negative. I don't want to complain. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to do the exact opposite, in fact. I want to lift up others. I want to be positive, and I want to create a space for everyone and anyone to come and hang out and have and share ideas and just have fun. With that being said, let me share some with you. I started off with this whole idea being about how to sort Lego with that question that's been asked. That's gonna be constantly happening throughout all the things that I'm doing. It's happening now, and if and ever the channel grows to where there's lots of people hanging out and asking questions, that's gonna be awesome. And I'm gonna be answering all kinds of questions about what I think I know, because that brings me back to not lying to you or myself. So if I ever say something that is incorrect, please call me out, and I will be the first person to admit that I am wrong. I have said or done something wrong or inappropriate, and I will immediately recognize I did something wrong, and I will admit it. I did it wrong. I messed up, and that's going to be the first thing I'm going to do. So that's that. But yeah, my intent is to just get excited about what I think I know about Lego and creating things and sorting Lego and all that stuff. And so that was kind of some of the first ideas. As I'm looking over at my little chart, I am seeing something I have written down that I want to discuss. And it is this. I think this is going to be kind of a cool moment to show this off. This is kind of crazy. I created something a long time ago, years ago now, in fact. I know that I'll just get it out of the way now. The police are not necessarily the hottest topic these days, and I respect that. I understand that completely. I don't want to talk about that. I really do respect everyone's opinion on that and in that area, and I want to leave it at that, because everyone does have an opinion on that. But what this doesn't, Lego does have a large history of doing police sets. It is what it is. And so that just leads me to this crazy MOC that I made. MOC in the Lego community stands for my own creation. My main Lego supplier, I call him a picker. He's an absolute legend. He's a crazy guy in the neighborhood. I love him. But he's a bit of a mad lad, and he does a lot of cool collecting and hoarding, and he has his own Go4 Interceptor meter-made cart thing. And I lived next to him for years, and it always was outside my apartment. And I just had this itching to one day to just, you know what, I am gonna make that thing. And so this is what I created from scratch. It is exactly what it looks like. It's a little three-wheeler that totally runs around and slaps tickets on your car. If you you don't park right. It's silly, right? It's very silly. At the engine compartment in the back, just like it is in the real life, there's a nice big seat in there for the driver. It's a bit dusty. It's been on my display shelf for a long time. But that's that. It's quick and easy show off. That's it. But the point is, I want to have a bit of an episode on breakdown on how I made this, because that was really exciting for me. The mechanism I made out of complete scratch to make this wheel do what it does here, and that kind of thing. That's an episode I really want to do, um, because that was exciting for me. That was exciting for me to create something from completely nothing and bring it to life. And I want to talk about the steps that I took throughout the build to make it happen. For anyone who, again, who wants to listen and care and be like, oh, wow, this is maybe get inspired or learn something or not, that's it. that's an idea or a topic of something that I want to talk about. And again, simply it's about the Lego build and nothing else. It is a meter made, and got some pleat stickers on there, but it's just part of its nature in the Lego world. I once upon a time thought that this channel was going to be called Real Talk Bricks or No BS Bricks, because we're going to be doing a lot of Lego here, and I've been really inspired by a lot of people in the Lego community. I really want to start mentioning some of their names. I just want to get more comfortable with that before I start doing anything like that. But they really just inspired me because these were just cool dudes, cool people doing things. Because it wasn't just dudes. There was a lot of people. There was all kinds of people, humans, individuals, incredible people who I was so much inspired by that I was like, you know what? There's no possible way that I can't do this or shouldn't be doing this. And that was years ago. And I just have been trying so hard to force myself to get to this point right now. And I can't wait to thank each one of them. And what's crazy is I actually got to meet one in person a few years ago at a LegoCon, and it was one of the coolest moments of my life. Which sounds weird, maybe, but I'm not gonna lie, it really was. It was weird. It was so cool because I got to meet them, and I geeked out for a second. He probably thought I was crazy, but I understand. And so, he gave me the inspiration, and many others, um, specifically with Lego, gave me so much inspiration, among many others. I'm really making good time here. Well, I gotta speed up a little bit. But that's because, like I was going on about the channel name that I thought I was gonna have, because in the Lego community, a lot of channels this little trend goes on about it doing bricks. Everybody's got bricks in their name because you can't do Lego. It's a whole thing, I guess. I don't really know a whole lot about that, but I think it makes sense. It's like a copyright thing. Blah 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 blah. Pretty straightforward. I realized I don't want to use bricks. I don't want to be a bricks channel. That's just me. That was my personal thing. I don't want to be a bricks channel after whatever. And I kind of realized I want to have a more of a neutral name, because it's not. I don't want it to be 100% just about Lego. We're gonna do all kinds of cool things here, and I'm gonna have sub channels eventually once I get my button gear and figure out this software. And yeah, honestly, I just need to quit playing the gotcha games. I'm one of those. I'm totally hooked, but it is what it is. I really like adventuring and RPGs. Now, look at that. It happened. It's been done. I can't even believe it. But it just gonna happen like that. So there's that. While we're just sitting here, we might just do a few more Lego things, and I want to mention a few more of these ideas as I ramble along here. finishing up that, it it did ultimately kind of come down to this neutral channel name for those reasons, because I don't want the breaks, I don't want to be 100% associated with Lego, and I don't want it to be 100% a Lego channel, and that was basically what I was going to say, the next thing, but that's that. Stepping out of my comfort zone, out of the comfort zone, I think was a part of what I had planned for the initial. I wanted to talk about things in a real, truthful, and honest way in terms of my opinion. But I, again, like I said, I've spent a lot of time thinking about this ahead of time and realized I don't want to be spewing my opinion nonstop. So I kind of realized we're going to backtrack from that and try to focus more on ideas and a more of a positive approach. So, being comfortable is good. Stepping out of your comfort zone is also good. Those are things that we can explore in the future. Something I really want to talk about a lot on this channel is rare and special elements. That's a whole series I want to have, where we'll just talk about rare and special elements. I will give you a little bit of a sneak peek, real quick, of a couple of weird elements that we might talk about for extended periods of time. And that's what I really like to do. I get inspired by just one single element. Like this one, this is an ingot. My camera doesn't like to focus very well, but yeah, and that's not necessarily a very inspiring piece because it's so specific. It's an ingot. What are you going to do with an ingot? A few things. You can get pretty creative with it. I've seen some people do some really cool, I think it's called greebling kind of effects and things of that nature. Just all that kind of fun stuff. Texture, detail, and all that. I'm going to kind of just set aside a few of these smaller elements in these kind of trays I have because they have a home. I'm just going to kind of get those taken care of a little bit later. As for these other guys, we're going to get those taken care of right now. And while I do that, I can continue to talk about ideas. I feel like I'm not talking about my ideas enough. We only have about 10-ish minutes, 10-ish, 15 more minutes. I don't want to necessarily be like, oh, an hour, I got to end right now. But I want to kind of make these episodes about an hour. I realized that's what I want to do for myself and for the content for the time being. Everything's going to change. Change is inevitable. There will be a lot of change on this channel. Let's see if I can do this in one move, like a pro. Oh. Will always be ideas. Get to it. Rare and special elements. I love that. Identifying non-Lego while going through your hauls. I think I did find one, literally, while doing this. I just didn't say anything because I was in the middle of something. I didn't want to interrupt myself, even though I do that constantly. I literally found this 1x2. It's not Lego. Gun the thing, and I was able to identify that for a few different reasons. And that's some tricks I want to teach for anyone who cares to do that. I am pretty anal about my stuff being pretty pure Lego, but my Lego, my rules, I have many exceptions, which we'll get to. That's a great idea. What are we keeping? What are we getting rid of? There's a lot of things in that department. Excuse me. Let me get out a few things here. Hopefully that doesn't get in the way. We're going to pull out the double cheese wedge. Wow, this guy's locked in there. I didn't realize that. It's not good. container. So the cheese wedges are going home. There they are. Now these are those, we've talked about them in that, I think the last episode or so, but these are some herb containers I got from some years in the restaurant industry. Identifying non-Lego again, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in that department. It's really fun. I think I might have a whole episode on that because there's a few things I want to do and create. I want to do that with you guys, and then talk about specifically with elements what they can and can't do, etc., etc. And a couple other fun things that involve the mixing and or non-mixing of Lego and Lego compatible elements. I have a really cool idea. I want to just note this really quick. I was worried for a long time about, I don't want to share my ideas because people are going to make them and they're going to just do them better and blah blah blah. And I don't care. Please take the ideas, do them, make them better. Because when I'm still going to do my ideas. I'm going to make them. And when I do, I'm going to make them my way. Or I'm going to make them the way I think I want to make it. And that's what's going to be it's cool. It's going to be different. You can make yours. You can make it 10 times better than mine. That's fine. But I'm going to make mine too. And I'm going to make it cool and the way I think it could be or should be. And that's that. And that's how it's going to be. I'm not going to worry about what other people's are going to do or may do and none of that. That's over. So this idea that I really am excited about is a collapsible, like pocket-sized phone stand. Like a really cool phone stand that is like yay big, about rectangular, right? And it'll be collapsible, and it can like pop up, have a couple, so it'll be collapsible, right? It'll pop up, so you can have it in the watch videos mode, and then it can have a couple of angles where it can lock in. Excuse me, I'm talking a lot, it gets my throat. But it'll lock in, and then it'll even have areas where it'll keep the phone tightly in grip with rubber pieces and all that. I'm super excited to make this build. But then it can be collapsible and full, like be easy to fit into a pocket or like a side of a bag or whatever that you might want to have it for in the future, whatever. And I want it to be robust, strong. It'll have a lot of Technic, of course. And it's so cool. It'll have like rubber gripping on the bottom so it won't slide on a surface like this. I'm just really excited about it. I want to make some really cool, my ideas are all over the place. And that's what I love, and because that's what they're all about ideas. Flowers. Everybody loves flowers. And I want to make some really cool flower field scenes. I like the idea of running through a field of flowers. I don't know why. It's silly, it's cliche, but I don't know. I'm going to be doing that. It's going to be magical. I have tons of flower elements, and I've just been inspired by that type of thing. I want to do that. I think I've mentioned this before, but this idea of restoring or remastering and or old sets and the difference between those in my mind, not necessarily the definition and Wikipedia, but in my head, the idea of what I think a restoration and a remaster for a Lego set is. Can't remember if I showed this one off yet. But regardless, I'm just going to grab one that I was really excited to do. But this is the point, is where I will find something like this very beautiful original manual, and I'll take it and say, you know what, I'm going to bring this back to life from nothing. And so I spend the time to find each and every one of the elements. I could use the internet and Bricklink and things like that. I actually don't, which is absolutely insane. I literally just kind of wait until I find the pieces, and you bring it back to life. And so here it is in the flesh, or in the brick. It's so cool because the dragon like swivels and tries to maintain its position to like give it this flying feel. It's so cool. The dragon and the witch, every single element is there. I have the bottom piece of her dress back there in a baggie because I don't want it to get scratched. The printed part of her dress, it's like a unique print. So I've got it back there, super special. And this big black piece here, it's one of a kind. I don't really remember many other sets having this. And this is, I think, one of my only original green dragons. I think I might have one or two more of it. That's just an example of that. I love that. We're going to be doing that a lot. I'm going to find something that I can put together and bring back to life. Here's another one real quick. This, because one of my favorite is the, I'm going to space the name, of course, because I'm pressured. I'm on the camera now, but these adventurers, I space in the name. I'm going to kill myself in my head, of course, for not being able to remember this in the moment. But it'll come to me. But yeah, these guys get this little miniature set. I bring brick to bricked it all back together, and with that, I'll use the instructions that I find from the halls that I acquire. So again, I kind of start from the ground up. Like I want it to be all there. So I'll find. Once I find this 6024, and I'm like, okay, I think I can realistically put this together because I got this shield. You know, that's a rare print. I got some of these helmets, and I have. Oh man, let's take a look at this. You're gonna love this. I really need to spend more of my time focusing on Lego when I get on here. But that's gonna be happening. I'm gonna be doing a lot of that. We're working on it. But I want to show you something real quick that I love that I've done. This is super cool. If I can find it. Oh man, I think I got it buried. It'll have to be another time. I apologize. But I have a special thing where I've got all my special print heads lined up in this foam thing. It's so cool. But either way, that's how I identify like if I've actually got it or not. But yeah, this, and then I go through it because it's so fun. And yeah, I use the internet a lot. Brick, the Lego website, the actual Lego website, to go through the steps and get that all done and make it happen. But I like to use the paper manual, and especially with you guys, whoever, I want to use the paper manual. It's going to be that much funner and more authentic. I'm only going to be doing this for a few more minutes, but I'm losing my train of thought. I'm all over the place, but that's what again, it is what it is. I want to mention a few more things that I said I was going to mention real quick. We're going to be doing crazy elements. I want to show off one or two of those. I'm just trying to clear this off real quick to get inspired by. Like this. This is absolutely wild. This is a Lego element that is like the handle of some kind of a weapon that has a battery-powered sound thing. I don't know what this was from. There's even lights on it. This is so cool. We could just get inspired by this for days. And this is it. We're going to bring out an item like this, and we're just going to sit here and be like, yo, what could we do with this? What are the ideas that can be spawned from just this one thing? We're going to use this one thing, and this thing is going to be the jumping off point of the idea. Let's grab one more. You know, this is crazy. I love this. This is going to be the fun game. And this idea was inspired by an idea or a little bit of a weird subsection in this other Lego channel that I've seen in the past. Boom. What are we going to do with this? This rubber net thing. I mean, obviously a few ideas are going to come to mind, but let's try to think outside the box. Again, back to that one thing. But because we are still going to try to do a little bit of this, but in a more comfortable way, which just sound contradicting, but we're going to try to do getting out of the comfort zone in a comfortable way, you know. I don't want anyone to feel genuinely uncomfortable or disrespected. One more. make it a good one. Trying to make it a good one. Struggling. There's too many. There's too many. I need to just pick one. This crazy, weird, like, shield shoulder element thing. Like, I think this could create some ideas. It's not necessarily 100% symmetrical. It's like, it's just cool. It's this weird shield thing. Not shield, like arm or shoulder thing. But I think if we scratch the arm or shoulder thing and just, it's not an arm or shoulder thing. What is it? You know, that's where the ideas are going to come from. You know, that's a perfect example. But yeah, that's that. I'm glad I got that kind of out of the way. And you know, many more of my personal ideas that I want to bring to life, that I want to save for another episode, because I do want to wrap this up shortly. Yeah, let's sort the rest of these. Have a few moments of that, because there's a lot of funness that I want to have on this channel, and there's a lot of ASMR out there. Oh, wow, that was a big fail. I usually do this towards me. I don't usually do that like that on the camera, but fails will happen. This is something I like to do, where you just kind of filter it out. And then go in there. I'm definitely not going to be attempting to do any kind of ASMR on this channel, but there might be some times where people will think and feel that there are some elements happening like that, and I don't mind that. That's okay. I think that's cool. And then sometimes maybe I might dabble. I have a lot of ASMR artists who are big inspirations of mine in terms of content creation. So again, I would love to give them the honors and say their names, but I just want to make sure that it's appropriate. Yeah, we're just sorting out the last of these 1x2s. We'll do the jumpers and the grates and the tiles, and we'll wrap it up at that, because we're over the hour mark, and I feel like I've just been rambling, and a lot of this might not necessarily be what anyone wants to hear, but that's okay, because it is for me, and it's for anyone who wants to hear it. If you want to hear from Embryocian, this is a place for you to do that. Here are the 1x2 jumpers. They're going in. If you didn't notice, I neglected to realize I put in these hand ones in there and then put them in the big one, and I'll have to go through there now and make sure there's not any in there, just to make sure I'm not going crazy. But that's just me. I like to know that I have the ability to access any specific element, of even almost any color, at any time. It's a very cool feeling. And that's just something I've grown to really adapt to, and just almost can't live without. So this is the 1x2 tiles. I'm just grabbing out the trans ones real quick, because they're the coolest ones, quite honestly. That's that. And even if, you know, I wanted to get in there, it's not a big deal. Nothing's perfect. Nothing needs to be perfect. Spills, mistakes are inevitable. Okay. But you can learn from them. All right. While I do this last one, I may as well just say thank you for anyone who's listened and participated. I'm so happy and grateful to be a part of this space. be a part of this channel. I'm messing this one up. That's whatever though. I think I want to join the 1x2 grates and the 1x2 slanted grates anyway. Whatever. But yeah, I'm so grateful for this space, this time, for the inspiration and desire to make this happen today. Get my words out there. I wanna leave with I want to reward someone with something or whatever, but I don't know what that could be. I'm just so grateful for everyone to be here. Who might be here, because that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, obviously, this is for the future. But yeah, we did it. That was actually pretty cool. Got that all sorted out. I like to stick to my thing, which is just saying thanks. I'm so grateful. And kind of doing my little slogan that, I'm so happy to get to do this. And also that I can attempt to bring people together and share and talk about ideas and just have fun. And that's my goal. So I appreciate any amount of time you spent listening, hanging out, participating. There will be more to come. I'm feeling really good right now because I did it. I did the stream. I got out here. I said what I wanted to say today. I sorted some Lego. I shared some ideas. And now I feel like I want to share more ideas, more of my ideas. But I've gone over my time limit, and I want to end on a good note. So again, thank you for letting me do this. I appreciate you. Have a good night, morning, afternoon. And again, let's bring people together, share and talk about ideas, and just have fun. Thanks, y'all. Have a good night.